Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You. Yeah. The hour of 8:30 has arrived. I'm calling the meeting to order. If I could have a roll call, please.
Chair Sheila Rutledge,
Here.
Vice Chair Sabat Heather. Here. Member Cindy Cahill.
Here.
Member Lucy Evans.
Here.
Member Andrew Honig.
Here.
Member Lynn LaPlante.
Thank you. For my remarks this morning, I read an article yesterday that I think we're going to talk about a little more going forward here. But Business Insider published an article yesterday that researchers found a spoon's worth of nanoplastics in human brains. So it's crossing over. It's accumulating in our bodies, and so we'll take another look at how we can get rid of some of the plastic in our environment. And I was just saying, if we could eliminate plastic shopping bags, I would be extremely happy about that. But unless we're home, we can't really do that. So that concludes my remarks. We do have public comment from David Barkus.
Morning, everybody. My update or my request, both for today, is the Dark Sky folks that are going to present at the Mayor's Caucus, Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, the Environmental Committee, February 18th, next Tuesday, from 9:30 to 11. On the presentation with us is going to be Homer Glenn and also Westmont, talking about the things they're doing. The photos you might recognize if you open up the invitation are from Hawthorne Woods. I'd say the progress is starting to spread. It goes pretty slowly. Westmont's going to talk about some things they've implemented. The grant that I think I told you about last year, we talked about also some lighting they've chosen. People are starting to make good decisions. It's slow and it's steady and it's building, even though maybe it's hard to discern the change, but it's coming. I was just informed that this is a well-attended meeting, 40 or 50 folks. I do know that there's 275 metropolitan areas in the caucus. So if you have any way to increase that from the folks you know and get it up to, I don't want to be too crazy, maybe 100, 125, that would be fantastic. Each person present adds to the probability that people are going to start something. We're going to talk about the normal presentation we give, which covers all the issues and the benefits of trying to do it more smartly and how you like. And then I'm going to talk about what cities and villages can do, starting slowly and building as things come to support the efforts. And then we're going to follow up with, we have a technical person that actually understands all the different lighting choices, including retrofit kits. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And if you can all attend, great.
Give us
Yes.
the details on that again. Where, when?
It's a Zoom meeting and
Mayors and managers.
it's going to everybody that's part of the caucus invitation. It's coming from Kevin Burns, the mayor of Geneva, and it went out a couple days ago. So 18th of February. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David. Next on our agenda, I'll ask for a motion on 25-411, the minutes from Tuesday, January 7th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? That motion carries. Parent committee approval is ENR 2-25, resolution for DuPage County Electronic Recycling Program 2026, notice of participation. Got a few.
Sure. Good morning. This is our form that we need to complete to qualify for the state's program for electronics recycling. It's a no-cost program to the county to submit it, with the exception of we have been reimbursing for the trailers and such that are at our two sites, the Naperville and the Burbridge site. So $6,000 annually for that. So this would allow us to participate in 2026.
Can we get a motion and a second on this?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you. Next for discussion is the Arbor Day Program 2025.
Sure. Good morning. So we wanted to talk a little bit about this program. We started by doing the bare root seedlings. We gave them out to employees. At the request of this committee, last year, we did work with the City of West Chicago's Environmental Commission. We were able to distribute about 500 bare root seedlings with the Environmental Commission. One of the reasons we had chosen West Chicago last year was it's an environmental justice community. And it's also using the Chicago Regional Trees Initiative canopy study. It is actually the lowest performing DuPage community as far as canopy goes. They have the most room to improve, so to speak. So we did want to talk this year. West Chicago has reached out. They would like to do it again. We have about $1,000, so we don't have enough to really roll this out with all of our communities. But we could potentially, we're thinking in 26, we could offer maybe a program similar to document shredding. We just wanted to get the committee talking about what your preferences are. We could, as a fallback, do employees again, but we try not to do it every year because there's only so many trees and shrubs that one can plant in their own yard. So we wanted to get your input, your thoughts.
And Lucy, I want to tell you that we did talk about some to go over to,
Hinsdale Lake Terrace.
thank you,
Okay.
Hinsdale Lakes. I knew it was a lake something, I just couldn't bring it up. It's too early in the morning. So we did talk about some for over there as well. So, any other thoughts on this?
I'm wondering if we can get like maybe Girl Scouts involved or something like that, where, you know, some people, you take the tree home and I'm not convinced that everybody's planting
get
them,
planted.
but, you know, maybe if we get some Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts involved, they actually want to plant them as well. I would like to make sure that these trees get homes. Or, I don't know, scares.
I like that idea. I'll need more air cleaners.
And that is one of the benefits of the way we do the program is we physically make people come to us and ask for them. We don't just blanket distribute them. So we are hopeful that it does mean that they are planted, that people are being educated. This is one of our criteria, not necessarily a distribution, but we do have to educate as part of our arboretum status. We do have to educate on the care of trees and the planting of trees.
We've got Girl Scout connections that we can reach out to, or
I'll talk to Beth and Kay
Great.
about whether they have any connections.
That'd be great.
So I will offer, if the committee's okay with it, I will offer West Chicago.
I kind of think we need to spread out a little bit. They had it last year. I think it's more fair. We have a whole huge county here of other districts that, you know, we should offer some trees to.
agree, but West Chicago is pretty far down the list as far as tree canopy, and that
Yeah.
lowers home heating and air conditioning in the spring and summers.
Sure, I know, but who
So-
else is low on the list? Any other communities?
Bolingbrook is the next on the list, and then Bartlett. The Aurora. Success story.
Well, maybe you have to West Chicago this year.
Which I
And
think
then-
we talked about
yeah,
that, and
And
then
then
half
who's-
of it
because
is
in
links.
other districts, I mean, you know, how
I'm just
about
gonna call it
Wooddale? How about Bensonville? How about Addison? Those places.
Bentonville is one of the, yeah, they're-
Yeah,
they
I'd
would
like
be,
it to
they
go
would
to
be the next.
Bensonville.
Sure.
Do you need direction there?
Nope, I
This is
will,
just
I
discussion.
will reach out to Bentonville, to see if they have a mechanism to distribute the trees. It was very nice with West Chicago because they did do it with their commission.
Well, if you have any
And
issue,
then-
I will coordinate that because I'm sure they do, you know, if you don't get to the right person. I know they would love those trees.
That would be
They would
fantastic.
love them. There's a lot of apartment buildings there. There's a lot of multifamily homes that in front of those, it would be wonderful. And I'm sure the city would get involved and plant those.
They're like this big.
Well, they can just take a spoon and plant.
Yeah, almost.
But we want to make sure they don't die.
Yes, indeed. That would definitely be the first on the list. Anybody else have any comments about this issue? Thanks, everybody. Next for presentations, our first is the Sustainability Initiatives update. Who's giving that?
Oh, that's the.
Oh, Ian.
I call it something different. My bad, everyone.
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chair. So this is gonna be a campus solar and EV update, with just an update on the projects across campus. We've got public charging ideas around campus, and of course, we have our big shiny rooftop solar array that's been in operation since October. and the plans to kind of pursue the addition and finish the rooftop solar array. So let's rock and roll. Okay, so I want to cover a couple grants first that are partially paying for some of these projects. So the first one was awarded to us back in 2023, is about $500,000. It's from the Department of Energy. It's called the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. We had 4 projects that were included in that, which is EV charging at the courthouse, solar panel installation on the administration building. So that's just the finishing off our rooftop array, a workforce gap analysis and training program through WorkNet, and then our tunnel LED retrofit, lighting retrofits. We are still kind of waiting guidance from the Department of Energy on where we stand with this grant. But this money was designated for solar, finishing off the rooftop solar as well as EV charging at the JOF. The second grant was awarded to us last month, early in January. It is the Charging and Fueling Infrastructure Grant. It was part of the large EV grants that were coming from the Federal Highway Administration. A lot of them included highway work, but we partnered with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus along with 33 other municipalities in applying for $14.5 million of community EV charging. Our portion of that was $350,000, and the projects to be included in that $350,000 was additional charging at the care center, public charging at animal services, as well as finishing the charging here at 421. For those of you that are unaware, our sole public charging electric vehicle charger is here in the 421 South parking lot. And we do have a spot adjacent to it that can handle additional charging, but I'll get to that in just a second. We are also kind of paused on that grant right now because of the federal funding. We don't know where we stand with that right now, but yeah, we're just waiting for guidance on that. So here's our courthouse charging spots. We are planning 2 dual port level 2 chargers. We have a good amount of remaining work, such as wiring, trenching, additional connections, selecting, installing the proper charger. And this project has been kind of hung up for a few reasons on why it's going, I shouldn't say hung up, but it's been going slower than what we would have liked. And that is because, one, we wanted to wait for our zoning change here on county for the permanent acquisition, so we can apply for that internally. The big one was finding a qualified installer, which is really hard because we were having to navigate federal, state, local requirements. And then on top of that, last year, ComEd came out with an amazing rebate program called the Make Ready rebate program, where we can apply for as minimum as like $5,000 per port of rebates. So for 4 spots, that'd be over $20,000 in rebates. So that was another layer of requirements for our EV installer. So just having to navigate all these things, but progress is being made. So, and then finally, the equipment manufacturing. We had to make sure our chargers, as well as all the equipment that is using in this installation process, complies with that federal grant. So, namely the Build America, Buy America requirements. Animal services, as part of that addition, we do have a spot that is mostly made ready for a public level 2 charging spot. There is some additional work that needs to be done before that can be up and running. However, this work was included in that charging and fueling infrastructure grant. And on top of this public charging location, we do have the piping installed for future fleet chargers at animal services. Whenever that comes around, we will have at least the bones, so to speak, for those future fleet EV chargers. Care center, we have a spot as part of our sidewalk project. We installed a level 3 spot, so that is the direct current, or also known as the fast chargers. We would be drawing electricity from the swap building right there. Of course, there's a lot of remaining work that needs to be done, but the concrete is poured, the bollards are installed, and that kind of conduit where the electrical wiring is going to come up is also installed. Once again, this work was also included in that charging and fueling infrastructure grant, so still just waiting on guidance on how to proceed from here with this spot in particular. And then the administration building. So there's our sad little lonely public charger, but no, it's awesome. But that's we've had that for about 10 years, and we've had a spot next to it, adjacent to it. And you can see the 2 bollards on the far side of that charger That was a made-ready spot where when we installed this one charger, we made an additional spot ready for future charging. And we have a few different options on what we can install there, including a fast charger or a more, dual port level 2 charger for your kind of, everyday use. And that work was also included in the charging and fueling infrastructure grant. Okay, so this is going to be an update on our solar array that was the south solar array on this rooftop that has been operational since October. It's about 164 kilowatt system, so 25, 30 homes worth of electricity generation. There is live generation viewing on the county website. So if you go to our county website, you can go to our campus kind of green, our campus sustainability page, and that has various information on a lot of different green projects that we've done on campus, including solar. So you can do a live viewing of our solar array at the Child Advocacy Center, and now you can see the live viewing of the 421 array. So something that's really cool about our array is this graph on the right here. So when solar panels are essentially being labeled as their efficiency, how much solar energy they can convert into electricity, manufacturers will test those conditions in a very optimal setting. So like 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 1,000 watts per square meter, which is essentially just a very nice sunny day. So essentially they test their solar panels on a gorgeous sunny day. We know that in January in Chicago, we don't have that many gorgeous sunny days. So this is super interesting because on a gorgeous sunny day, an average gorgeous sunny day in January, the array is expected to output that black line at the top, which is about 450 kilowatt hours of electricity. You can see our solar array produced a lot less than that on some days because we have overcast, we have clouds, those types of things. But on a sunny January day, our panels are actually putting out more electricity. And that is really interesting because that means the conditions on our rooftop are very optimal. They're better than the manufacturer's beautiful, gorgeous sunny day testing conditions. So that's a really good sign. That's very hard to do, is to beat the manufacturer's efficiency rating. And so we're attributing that to cool rooftop temperatures. Efficiency on solar panels decreases with heat. So the nice cool rooftop is going to affect that. We have a nice 32-degree tilt angle to maximize the winter months along with the summer months as the sun gets lower and lower here in Northern Illinois. And then we also have a high albedo roof. So we coat our roofs with essentially a white sealant that reflects a lot of solar rays. So it helps the building's energy efficiency, but it's reflecting a lot of the solar energy back to the panels. So the panels are actually receiving additional solar energy from that reflection as well. If you've never been on the roof, it is very bright, like sunglasses. Truly, it's a safety hazard, I would say, if you don't have sunglasses on while you're up there. But yeah, this is a good sign. This is what we produce in January, and we now know on optimal sunny days, on your average sunny day, our solar panels can actually beat the manufacturer's efficiency rating. So it's really good. Okay, so now back to the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. I mentioned we did include the finishing the rooftop with those grant dollars. And on the picture on the right, you can see the areas of roof that are outlined in yellow is what is included in that project. And then the auditorium roof outlined in red, we are going to make this addition future ready. Essentially, when the auditorium roof gets re-roofed because it is requiring a new sealant coat of sealant, then we will be able to install solar panels, and the inverters and everything that we've already installed will be ready for that future array. Where it's estimated about 140 kilowatts, so another 25 homes worth-ish. And then the auditorium roof would be about another 63 or 64 kilowatts. We've allocated over $200,000 from the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant for this installation. And currently, design is complete. Our Clark Dietz, the engineering firm that oversaw the design of this addition, we have finished those design documents, and we are getting ready to issue an RFP. That's the update.
Awesome.
Question.
Yes.
So in Public Works last year, when we talked about building all of these charging stations and paying for them, we talked about a certain period of time in which the user would have a free, like half hour, 30 minutes, and the remaining would be paid. it's not, it's costing us, it's expensive for us. So what's the plan on that?
Yeah, so we, currently our sole charger is free. And we estimate that charger uses about $1,000 worth of electricity every year from people coming and charging. And we're, as you point out, as more chargers are installed, that number is gonna grow. We did pass an ordinance last year of charging 20 cents per kilowatt hour,
Okay.
which is expected to recoup all costs, including electricity, including infrastructure, including maintenance costs over the course of 10 years.
Okay, so, as soon as these are up and running, we're gonna be charging.
Immediately, yeah.
A credit card, or how's it gonna work?
A credit card can work. There's a toll-free
Oh, it's an
number.
app. Okay,
Well, so yeah, if you're a ChargePoint user, you can use the app, but somebody that's not a ChargePoint user can, ChargePoint is the brand of charger that is currently installed. Non-users, anyone can roll up and charge. They can tap a credit card, they can use Apple Pay, they can call a toll-free number to pay over the phone. There's various methods.
okay, so the one at the care center, that's a fast charger. Is
Yeah.
that one gonna be that's more expensive to us, correct?
Yes, but the 20 cents per kilowatt hour is just so it's 20 cents per, unit of energy that's used. So even though it's charging faster, it's gonna use more energy and the person's just gonna get charged more. They're gonna get charged fairly for the amount of electricity that they used.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Any other questions? Paula?
Actually, a question, but do we know anything about these freezes? Have we heard anything more about them? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I'm
my
so
question
frustrated
too.
because we're going like, we've got this going, the momentum's going, and now I feel like we're at it, and I know you feel the same way. We're at a standstill.
Yeah.
I was coming
So where we're at, especially with the environmental programs, I mean, it's a dead freeze right now. I mean, we're waiting for word. I mean, does it look promising? Not necessarily. But we are taking the projects as far as we possibly can to be ready to take advantage of anything we can. If we don't, all these projects are very, very good, positive projects that we may need to, you guys as a board may need to consider, okay, we did not get the federal funding. Do we want to move forward? But I don't think that time is now yet. We need to see the landscape to see what is going to change. It's a shame because the money was promised before, but I know that they're kind of retooling and figuring out what they want to do. We will react accordingly. But as we said, the bids are taking all the way up to RFP. We've got to figure this out, but we are kind of on hold a little bit until we see.
Well, I know with our chair here, I know that she and I feel the same way that, we want to keep going on this. So I am hopeful that as a board, we can decide to maintain our forward motion on doing these environmental projects. So it's just.
These are all very positive, very needed projects. So
Yeah.
One thing to add, you'll hear about this in 20 minutes, but we are requesting funding to replace the lights in the power plant. Ian's determined that'll be a 14-month payback. That is unbelievable.
Oh, that's.
So we are hitting the most efficient things first.
Right.
And the solar, I want to say it's an 8-year payback. Does that sound right, Ian?
Yeah, it's less than 10. Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, as electricity costs go up, and as you all read, with data centers and other things these are drifting into ranges that are much more palatable. And we can also bring that, our goal is a little under 8, but if you're the decision makers, if you want to pursue that, we can pursue that for you as well. So
and I can tell you, before we ever even got federal funding for a lot of these projects, over the past 20 years, we've done a number of energy efficiency projects where if the payback was in the 7, 8, 9-year range, the board, we put millions toward that because it provides a financial benefit down the line. Like the solar panels, they have a life of 22 to 24 years. And if we pay it off at 8, everything over 8 is a benefit financially. So it really is an economic game at that point, but we have spent millions retrofitting the old lights through all the buildings. And that was like a 3-4 year payback. I mean, those type of things are what we bring to you. And this lighting retrofit in the power plant is a no brainer at 2-3 years or however.
14 months.
14 months, it's a no brainer.
They're old and they're on 24/7. Sorry. No comment at all, so sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up one thing too, with the federal funding, Illinois does have a lot of really good state
That's what I was
incentives
gonna
for
ask. State
solar,
funding.
these energy efficiency
ComEd,
projects like
still
ComEd.
has
There's a lot, I mean, solar renewable energy credits is an Illinois state program, and that is a large funder of these solar, of getting that return on investment lower. And anyways, I'm just wanting to point out that states, we
Yeah.
still have a lot of great state incentives for these projects.
So we ought to look at how this all looks without the federal funding.
Yeah, we do not want these projects to go away, so we're gonna continue to, I mean, we've spent a lot of effort to get to this point. A decision will be made by the board at some point in the future, most
And I
likely.
keep wanting to reach out to our donors about the animal services, but I'm a little inert. I won't do that right now. So kudos Ian about looking ahead for the things that you're planning now. I like that a lot. The other thing that you talked about the tilt of the panels.
Mhm.
Do they change that in the summertime to make them more directly?
No,
south?
that would be a pretty big.
Okay, okay. Just curious. Too bad they
It's
don't have a little.
yeah, I know, like a little mechanism,
Right.
you know, that's something I actually don't know if that, I'm assuming that exists, right? Because they, you know,
Yeah.
there's plenty of arrays that kind of follow the sun.
Right,
Super
right.
efficient. You know,
Just curious.
satellites, their arrays kind of follow the sun, so, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, everybody.Moving on, presentation from Scares.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Karen.
Are you gonna push the button for me?
Next slide.
Did I get a presentation? Is it the same one as before?
No, you should have it.
Should we
I sent it.
recycle coach, checking on that?
Jennifer,
We're short on
go
time. You know what?
You may want to it's off to the next one to give you plenty of time to
Yeah,
do it if it's,
You want to do that? Okay.
Whatever.
I
Thank
don't,
you,
you're not rushed though.
Yeah,
Got
that's
to-
fine,
got to
whatever.
Stormwater
Okay.
this morning.
Yep.
too. So sorry about
No,
that.
It went
that's right.
along.
Big discussions, and I got a feeling that's gonna go on for a little bit here. So we'll hear from Scares next month. Thank you, Kay, for being flexible. And, next on our agenda is a recycle coach demonstration
Do you
presentation.
want to push that as well, since
How long do you think it'll take?
I can do it in 5 minutes?
Let's do it.
All right, you're gonna give me permission?
Yeah, you just click share.
What's that? She just gave a stormwater presentation this morning. That was all.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Like a
Okay.
year in review.
Yeah, see it up here.
So I real quick wanted to bring this to your attention. The state of Illinois, EPA has contracted with a company called Recycle Coach to provide all counties and all municipalities in the state of Illinois this app and online widget. We've added it to our website, and each community is able to customize this to their own community. So you would be able to, if you're in Bensonville, you would click Bensonville. And that's on my screen and on here. And you can put in your exact address. It's going to prompt you, and you would be able to get your schedule.
Oh, no.
And it'll actually, if you download the app, it'll actually send you a notification. It will also provide you with any event information. So if there's a recycling event coming up or something in the sustainability world, they will also have that. Another benefit here is we were able to provide them with our top languages in the county. So you are able to translate. And then here's where the fun part is. So there is a what goes where tool. So you are able to actually type in things like electronics. And let's see, I'm going to select computers and tablets. And it will tell you a little bit about electronic waste. And it will also give you drop off events and drop off locations that are close to you. So it's a pretty nifty tool. It will eventually replace our recycling guide. It's still in development. So we're trying to get some of the kinks out of it. One of the things that I think is probably really beneficial that we've not been able to provide on our website is information like this, like a plastic straw. We don't provide any information on our website. What do you do with it? You know, you would have to call us and say, what do I, can I recycle my plastic straw? So this at least affords us, there's several hundred items like this that it'll tell you, put it in your garbage, compostables. It'll give you a little bit more information on compostable dishware and where to put it. So things that we've never been able to really capture, this tool hopefully will be able to capture both online on your phone and then on our online widget. And then we have a few communities onboarded, Bensonville, Downers Grove, Naperville is working on, I'm not sure if Wheaton has launched yet. I know they were working on it. And then Lombard is not going to participate. But it's a pretty nifty tool. And the nice thing as well is your community can put this widget on their website and it ties into the county's drop-off. So all of our recycling depots are then now embedded into the local community's website, which is a handy tool.
Let's make it easier.
Yeah. So I just wanted to demonstrate that.
Is that everything? Okay.
Have you shared, have you shared this with the mayors and managers and everything so they know about this?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, we have, and then actually the mayor's caucus just did their environmental committee meeting that David's talking about.
Perfect.
They just did a whole session on it as well
Excellent.
last week. So we're trying to get the word out as best we can.
Questions?
Yeah.
Ina?
Thank you. How does each municipality get involved? You stated that Lombard was actually not part of this. And is it because there's like a fee associated with it or something?
There's no fee. The state is paying for everything. Lombard opted out because they are contracting with Waste Management and they just didn't want to invest the time into the app. I'm not sure if there was something about scheduling and if there's a hiccup, like if the nice thing about the app is you can go in, if there's a snow delay, if there's a holiday, you can notify your residents that have subscribed your pickups the next day or whatever, or your trash is running late. Your recycling will be picked up tomorrow, but your trash today.
That's super
The-
helpful because
Yeah.
I'm even being a homeowner, seeing people bringing out their garbage cans on holiday days, knowing like, hey, no, you need to bring that back in. It's not coming.
Always.
Got one
No,
more
but that
day.
is super helpful. And do they do alerts too? Like
They
you can
will.
sign up for like an alert system? Okay.
It'll come as a notification on your phone. But Lombard, for some reason, they didn't want to do
Okay,
that.
so then my follow-up question is, does that mean that each municipality is the one that's in charge of updating this information?
They update their schedule. We update the recycling depot information. But they can input their own events, like, Lyle, they're working on it as well. I'm not sure if they've launched, but yeah, they would put their sustainable Saturdays in there and you would get a notification about your local events.
Just a question. So I think different municipalities, depending on their recycling contract, might recycle more than other municipalities. Is that correct? So does this reflect each individual municipality and what they collect or?
It can't. We have allowed our municipalities to make those edits specific to their community.
Okay, cool.
But if you're an unincorporated resident or you just wanted to get the general information, we provide kind of the general overall, this is what standardly goes in your recycling bin.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, next, let's move along to old business. And I was hoping Tim would still be here. I wanted to ask him about progress on dark skies. I know Tim has said that they take that into consideration on the campus, but I'd like to see that move forward, or is that a home rule issue
I was
or?
gonna say that,
an
that would
ordinance?
be a Paul Haas development.
I
committee.
know,
Yeah.
I'll ask him at development
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Any other old business? Any new business? Without objection, we're adjourned.